15 Things You Didn't Know About Santa Claus. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers, and welcome back to another video full of fun and interesting facts. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. We make sure the information we deliver is of the best quality, so have a seat and enjoy this list. Since it's the season to be jolly, let's talk about the one delivering Christmas gifts all around the globe in just 24 hours. Some call him Kris Kringle, others know him as St. Nicholas, and of course he often goes by the name of Santa Claus. We are all very familiar with this figure around Christmas time, but how much do we know about him actually? Well, let's find out together, shall we? Here are 15 things you didn't know about Santa Claus. Number 1. The origins of Santa Claus. There are many stories behind the origin of Santa, but the most common one was that he was a Christian bishop who lived in the regions now known as Turkey in the 4th century AD under the name of St. Nicholas. His parents died when he was young and left him a great deal of money. Because he was a kind man and wanted to help, he decided to dedicate his life and money to help those in need. The habit of hanging stockings is also related to St. Nicholas. Legend has it that he helped a poor man who couldn't afford to pay the dowry for his 3 daughters to get married by dropping a bag of gold down the man's chimney. Luckily, the bag fell into a stocking that was drying by the fire. Number 2. The names of Santa Claus. If you plan on going on a trip around the world during Christmas time, this fact will come in handy. The one you know as Santa Claus has different nicknames around the world. In Belgium and France, he's called Père Noël. In Italy, Babbo Natale. For the Netherlands, Kerstman. And for Finland, Joulupukki. Japanese people know him as Hoteosho, a god or priest who bears gifts, while in Sweden he has the name of Jultomten, translated as Christmas brownie. Hungary, Poland, and Russia are a bit more classic, telling stories about Mikulas, Svätý Nikolai, and Dead Moroz, translated as Saint Nicholas and Grandfather Frost. In China, Danqiao Ren, Christmas Old Man, is the one who gives gifts, while folks in the UK wait for Father Christmas. Number 3. Santa's house. If that trip we mentioned earlier happens to be in a Nordic country, you're in luck. Each of them claims to shelter Santa's residence, and most of them have one you can visit. In Norway, it's said that Santa lives in Drobak, while Denmark claims he lives in Greenland. In Stockholm, Sweden, the National Postal Terminal receives children's letters for Santa, and in the town of Mora, there is a theme park named Tomteland. Korvantunturi, Finland has a history of being known as Santa's home, with its 2 theme parks, Santa Claus Village and Santa Park, while Dead Moroz, that's the name for Santa Claus, remember, has his residence in Belarus, in the Balawasiai Forest National Park. Santa also has a whole town to himself, Santa Claus, Indiana, known for his many themed attractions such as Santa's Candy Castle and Lake Rudolph Campground. Number 4. North Pole tradition. They say the night of the 24th of December is the longest in the year to allow Santa to deliver gifts to everyone around the world. But where does he crash and relax after such a long and exhausting job? He can go to one of his homes in Europe, or he can go back to the North Pole, where he lives, according to North American tradition in the US and Canada. Because the North Pole lies within Canadian jurisdiction, they assign the postal code of HOHOHO, which is a reference to ho ho ho, Santa's famous saying, to the northern region. Also, the Canadian government gave Santa the automatic right to re-enter Canada once he completes his duty. It doesn't sound that bad to deliver gifts all night now, does it? Number 5. What kinds of food do people leave for Santa? All good kids leave milk and cookies under the Christmas tree in order to make Santa leave some extra gifts. But where did this tradition start? Well, there are a lot of combined sources for it, but one is related to the Great Depression, where the parents tried to teach their children to share food with the others during Christmas time. Also, Dutch children started to leave food and drink for St. Nicholas on his feast day. People around the world leave all sorts of food and drinks for Santa, like rice porridge with cinnamon sugar in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, while mince pies and Christmas pudding paired with a beer or sherry are more popular in Britain, Ireland, and Australia. You can get some inspiration of what food you can leave for Santa in this video, which features some of the best street foods in the world. We bet you'll love these. You can check it out by clicking in the top right corner. Number 6. Why does he wear red and white? Until 1931, Santa dressed in whatever colors he wanted, usually blue, green, or brown. But in 1931, Coca-Cola issued a massive ad campaign in which Santa wore Coke's red and white colors, and it became so prevalent that Santa never had to worry about what to wear ever again. Pepsi launched a similar campaign in 2004, attempting to dress Santa in blue and white, their brand's colors, but it didn't catch. However, historians argue that the red and white color dates back to the 19th century and comes from St. Nicholas. But no matter where the truth lies, nowadays the red color is everywhere around Christmas, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Number 7. Mrs. Claus and the end of Santa's bachelorhood. Santa was, for a long time, a bachelor who worked with his elves and reindeer and gave gifts to the kids on the nice list. That was until 1849, when James Reese wrote a short story named A Christmas Legend, where a spouse, Mrs. Claus, was mentioned for the first time. After that, she began to appear even more under the names of Merry Christmas, Gertrude, Carol, Layla, Martha, or Jessica, being known for making cookies with elves, helping her husband with toys, and caring for the reindeer. The appearance of Santa also changes over time, and it was Coca-Cola who introduced him as the rotund, jolly, white-haired man we're all familiar with today. Before that, he was depicted in many ways, even in some scary and horrible ones. Number 8. The 10th Reindeer. Santa is known for having his sleigh drawn by reindeer, but do you know how many? It all started with a single reindeer, illustrated in a children's poem back in 1821. Then, in 1823, when the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas was published, another 7 reindeer joined in with the first one. The names of the 8 reindeer are Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. Rudolph only started to pull Santa's sleigh in 1939, when the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was written. The 10th reindeer, however, is known as either Olive, Bruno the Brown-Nosed Reindeer, or Howard. The most popular one is Olive, the other reindeer, who mocked Rudolph because of his red nose, but eventually became really good friends with him and joined Santa's team. Number 9. Santa's Elves. We're all familiar with Santa's army of little guys with pointy ears, who wear red and green clothes and funny hats, also known as elves. But did you know that at first there were only 6 of them? Their names are Alabaster Snowball, Bushy Evergreen, Peppermint Sticks, Shinny Up a Tree, Sugar Plum Mary, and Vunrose Open Sleigh, and they were engineers, inventors, cooks, craftsmen, and guardians. But there's another name for them in Nordic European countries, and that is Nisi, and they have the appearance similar to that of a garden gnome. The image of Santa surrounded by elves in the workshop was popularized by Godey's Ladybook with a front cover illustration for its 1873 Christmas issue, showing Santa surrounded by toys and elves. Number 10. When do people receive gifts? Well, most people celebrate Christmas on December 25th. That isn't the only day when people give and receive gifts in wintertime. There's also St. Nicholas's Day, which is celebrated on December 6th in Western Christian countries, December 5th in the Netherlands, and December 9th in Eastern Christian countries. People exchange gifts or surprise the children with sweets, while Santa is preparing thoroughly for his night shift on December 24th. Speaking of gifts, if you're looking for the perfect one for your loved one, you can check out some ideas in this video here. Number 11. Coca-Cola wasn't the first one. Yes, Coca-Cola gave Santa a makeover and helped him stay in people's minds as the nice old man with a long white beard who wears a red coat and hat and black belt and boots, but they weren't the first ones to use this image in advertising. White Rock Beverages was the first soft drink company to utilize Santa back in 1915 to sell mineral water, and then for its ginger ale in 1923. In 1919, Santa Claus was even featured in a cigarette ad for the Turkish brand Murad. The ad claimed that Murad cigarettes are what the grown-ups choose for Christmas. Number 12. Christmas banning. In 1655, Christmas was removed as a national holiday by the Puritans in the English Parliament, and from 1659, when pioneers settled in New England, until 1870, when President Ulysses S. Grant recognized Christmas as an official American holiday, American citizens could have been penalized if they celebrated Christmas or anything related to Santa Claus. And this isn't the only case like this in the world. In the Soviet Union, after the Russian Revolution, celebrating Christmas was forbidden. However, in the 1930s, Joseph Stalin brought back a blue coat-wearing guy who gave gifts to people on the night of New Year's, known as Grandfather Frost. Number 13. Naughty and Nice List. When we were little, we all hoped we were on Santa's nice list so we could get the gifts we wished for. But did you know that this list has its roots in the cultures of Belgium and the Netherlands? The Norse god Odin is Santa's Germanic precursor, and he kept 2 ravens, with which he would use to keep tabs on who was good or bad, since they would sit atop people's chimneys and eavesdrop on their conversations. Odin also resembles Santa, since he sported a white beard and a blue hooded cloak. Kids would leave food for him, and in return, he would leave them treats and candies. Number 14. Living as Santa Claus for only 200 years and counting. Saint Nicholas was actually known as Sinterklaas in a Dutch tradition, which said he was a bishop who traveled on the night of December 5th from house to house to deliver treats to children. The name of Santa Claus had first appeared in a story that was published in a New York City newspaper back in 1773, which is just a little bit over 200 years ago. You're still pretty young there, Santa. Number 15. Santa's sleigh. What do Santa Claus and the Headless Horseman have in common? Well, you know how Santa delivers the gifts with his reindeer-drawn sleigh? That sleigh is actually credited to the creator of the Headless Horseman, Washington Irving. Santa's sleigh made its first appearance in 1819 in Irving's short stories collection, The Sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon. The author also inspired Charles Dickens to write A Christmas Carol, and he was the one to spread the idea that Santa slides down chimneys to deliver presents. Now, what do you think of Santa? Are there any crazy things you've heard about him? Or maybe some funny inventions that started from the idea of Christmas? Still here? Of course you are, Aluxer, and for that, you deserve a little bonus fact. There's a Santa Claus University, where people learn professional Santa Claus skills, like poses, toy knowledge, beard styling, and how to avoid a lawsuit. And what's great for those who actually pursue this Christmassy career is they can earn up to $100,000 a year. Now, any guys out there want to be Santa when they grow up? Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.